going on, guys? And today we're gonna be doing we're gonna start off some rankings of positional players. I'm gonna make this really easy. We're gonna do uh quarterbacks, then running backs, and then wide receivers, and then I will try to have a power rankings out before the season starts a week from Thursday. I also want to try and do a list of 10 players that I would like to see improve this season. And yeah, from there, let's just jump right into this. So, starting off with honorable mentions, I have 6 of them. You guys are probably not going to like these, but it starts off in this order: Mac Jones, Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins, Kyler Murray, Jameis Winston, and Jalen Hurts. Overall, I like most of these players. I'm not huge on Kyler Murray or Kirk Cousins. I think that they're average quarterbacks at best, but I think that they could be suitable for their team if needed. And I think that Kyler Murray's issue is on the coaching, while I think Kirk Cousins' issue is on Kirk Cousins. Jameis Winston, on the other hand, he didn't play enough for me to put him on this list. I think he could make it on this list next year, but for right now, I'm not entirely sure. That being said, let's jump right in. Starting off with number 10, I have Russell Wilson. For those of you who don't know, I'm just going to read off these stats. In 14 games, he had a 64.8% completion percentage for 3,113 yards, 25 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions, and a quarterback rating of 103.1. And all of this was happening while being under one of the worst offensive lines in the league and while having a coach who wants to run a run first offense instead of letting Russ cook. That being said, I think that this season will be a lot different for Russ. I think being on the Broncos, where they have a fantastic offensive line, good running back, and yes, Tim Patrick's out for the rest of the season with an ACL tear, but I think Cortland Sutton will step up and Jerry Jeudy will step up for sure. If not, they have Albert O, who I really like, and I think they might be able to get it good. Moving on to number 9, we have Dak Prescott. In 2021, Dak Prescott had a 68.8% completion percentage for 4,449 yards, 37 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions, giving him a QBR of 104.2. And I think that Dak Prescott could be one of these people that is not going to be on the list next year. Losing Amari Cooper is going to be massive for Dak, I think, because now he only has Dalton Schultz and CeeDee Lamb to throw to, who, not to mention Zeke and Tony Pollard in the backfield, but I just think that the Cowboys' lack of weapons is keeping Dak from going very far. But yeah, I think that he could be better. I would like to see a little bit more accuracy raised and him play a little bit better. But overall, I think that he's a good quarterback, and I have Dak Prescott at number 9. Moving on to number 8, I have Joe Burrow, and in 2021, Joe Burrow had a completion percentage of 70.4 for 4,611 yards, 34 touchdowns, and 14 interceptions with a QBR of 108.3, the third best in the league. Yeah, he was a fantastic quarterback last season. I think that he will shine for years on end, and I think that without a bad offensive line, he'll be even better this year, and I could see him moving up in the rankings. I feel like that there's a lot of room for improvement is where I'm at. Yes, he had a very, very good season last year. I just would like to see a little bit more. I still think he is a top 10 quarterback for sure, but I just am very excited to see what's going on. Moving on to number 7, we have Lamar Jackson, and I don't have Lamar Jackson on here for his passing stats, which was pretty bad. He had a completion percentage of 64.4, which isn't awful. 2,882 yards, which isn't also bad because he only played in 12 games. 16 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. The interception numbers are a little too high for my liking. But I have him on here because of his run game. In 12 games, he has 767 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. I think that Lamar Jackson, as we've seen in the past, in the 2019 MVP season, for example, I think we could see this guy be just a fantastic quarterback. He's a very good rushing quarterback. He's a very good player. I love watching him play, just like watching Michael Vick when I was a little kid, before all the dogfighting stuff happened. I think that Lamar Jackson is currently one of my favorite players in the league. He's very, very good and very, very fun to watch. I love watching Lamar Jackson. And yeah, he comes in at number 7. Moving on to number 6, I have Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford flourished with the Rams. He did so good this season. Matthew Stafford had a completion percentage of 67.2 for 4,886 yards, 41 touchdowns, and 17 interceptions, giving him a QBR of 102.9. I think that he did fantastic this season. Helps when you have amazing receivers such as Cooper Kupp and OBJ before the ACL injury. And Jefferson also played really well. I just think that Matthew Stafford, if he continues to play as well as he did last year for the next couple of years, he will lead the Rams to multiple championships. And yeah, I overall he just comes in at number 6 for me. I think that he could, if he'd always had good coaching, could have been in the top 5, but I don't see him being able to be in the top 5 anymore because of where he is in age and etc. And from here, this is the only acceptable answers in my mind for the top 5 best quarterbacks. We might have some disagreements here, and this is probably going to suck, but and I might get flamed in the comments, but I think this list is just amazing. Coming in at number 5, we have Josh Allen. He had a 63% completion percentage for 4,407 yards, 36 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, and a QBR of 92.2. And I just feel like that he is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I feel like if you don't think that Josh Allen is one of the best quarterbacks in the league, you're just wrong. Ever since he's come in his rookie year, he's just improved so much. His passing game has gotten better. His running has gotten better. He's been doing so much better overall. And I love watching Josh Allen, and I can't wait to see where he continues. Um, I'm not really sure where I would like to see him improve. I think he's still going to be a top 5 quarterback for a while at least. So I'm going to keep him at number 5 right now. Going in at number 4, and this is where people might get a little bit controversial and not like what I have to say, but I have Tom Brady. Now, before you guys blame me in the comments and get mad, I don't think that Tom Brady is anything but the GOAT of all time. I think that Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. I just think that there are 3 quarterbacks higher on him. Yes, Tom Brady led the league last year in yards, and he led the league in touchdowns, and he had the 4th highest QBR. I just think that the 3 quarterbacks above him are going to be better, unfortunately. He had a 67.5 completion percentage, 5,316 yards, 43 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions, giving him a rating of 102.1, which is not bad. He's not bad by any means. I'm not saying that because he's the 4th best quarterback on my list, which is my opinion, that he's the worst quarterback in the league. I just think that the 3 quarterbacks ahead of him are higher. And yeah, this is it. There's nothing really to say about Tom Brady. He's a fantastic quarterback. But moving into number 3, I think that this is where people might have a little bit of things to say. I have Justin Herbert. And the reason I have Justin Herbert above Tom Brady is in his first 2 seasons, Justin Herbert has set the records for the most passing touchdowns by a player in his first 2 seasons, and the most passing yards, and the best interception to touchdown percentage, and he's led the Chargers to almost 2 playoff berths. I know that he is having issues and whatever, but last year, if the Chargers defense was as good as their offense, they would have made the playoffs and would have made a very deep run. I think that Justin Herbert is going to be a top 3 quarterback for a long time, and the quarterbacks that were drafted before him, looking at you Dolphins with Tua, are very, very disappointed that they didn't get him. Joe Burrow, you might not be so disappointed because Joe Burrow did lead his team to a Super Bowl in his second full season. But yeah, I think Justin Herbert is a top 3 quarterback. No, and moving into number 2, it had to be a toss up between these two players. I have Patrick Mahomes at number 2. And I know that I'm probably going to get flamed for who I have at number 1, but I just think that overall, my player at number 1 is better. Yes, Patrick Mahomes and my number 1 player had the same number of touchdowns, but my player at number 1 had less interceptions and a higher QBR while having 700 yards. And I think I would rather have 9 less touchdowns and like 19 higher on a QBR than 700 yards and 2% higher completion percentage. That being said, I think that Patrick Mahomes will probably flourish this year. Yes, he lost Tyreek Hill, but he has Travis Kelce. He now has Juju Smith-Schuster. He now has MVS. He has Sky Moore. They have McCole Hardman. and all the running backs. I don't know if the Chiefs will be the best team in the league this year, but I think that they'll be good this year. And I think that with Patrick Mahomes behind center, they'll be good for a very long time. And with that being said, that means that my number one quarterback in 2021, or looking at the 2022 season, is going to be Aaron Rodgers. And these stats are just insane. First off, he's the back-to-back MVP, which is just fantastic. But in 2021, Rodgers had a 68.5% completion percentage for 4,115 yards, 37 touchdowns, and only 4 interceptions, giving him the highest QBR of the season with 111.9 among active quarterbacks. That is an insane rating to give someone when the max is 153.8. I think that is fantastic. The second highest here, which I think I might have said Joe Burrow had the third highest, but the second highest was Joe Burrow with 108.3. And from there, it's Dak Prescott with 104.2. And then Matt Stafford with 102.9. And then Tom Brady, who's in fifth, etc. The list goes on. But I think that acting like Aaron Rodgers is not the best quarterback in the league as of right now, for the 2021, looking in the 2022 season, he'll probably not be here next year because his stats I think are going to be way worse this season because he has rookie receivers. But for right now, I have Aaron Rodgers at number one. Next year will most likely change, but for right now, Aaron Rodgers is my number one best quarterback in the league. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to leave a comment down below. Give me your guys' rankings. We can talk about it peacefully and friendly in the comments. And yeah, that's all I got. Thanks, guys.